and we give you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Amalina binti Arshad and my mentor number is CN180004. So I would like to present about my PSM project, which is a smart attendance system for Covid-19 social distancing. And my supervisor is Dr. Faiz Ashraf bin Safarudin. Okay, the purpose of this project is to develop a GUI-based system that can record student attendance using a QR code during the COVID-19 pandemics. So when the lecturer use a paper as a record of the student attendance, students do not follow social distancing that cause several direct contacts. Okay, the objective of this study is to design a smart attendance system using QR code by developing a graphical user interface, which is GUI, that will be integrated with the QR code system and develop a database. So the system is also able to record student temperature when the attendance is recorded. Okay, the development process of the smart attendance system is based on the design developed of the AD model, which contain five phase, which is analysis, design, developments, implementations, and evaluations. So Visual Basic is used to produce interface, display, and database are developed using Microsoft Access. Altogether, the design system is capable of helping lecturer to take student attendance faster and easier while avoiding close contact among the student. Okay, for the problem statement, first is the process of taking attendance record manually. There's still shortcomings such as this method takes time and do not practice social distancing that will cause lots of direct contact in a class. Lecturer may have difficulty as to accessing student data, and this project can reduce time and increase speed of taking attendance. Okay, the objective for this project is to study a digital attendance methods incorporating graphical user interface, which is GUI. And second is to develop a user-friendly smart attendance system for recording student attendance and temperature with graphical user interface. And lastly is to evaluate the performance of smart attendance system in terms of usability and effectiveness. For the scope, this is smart attendance system is a GUI. The input data is a QR code and a body temperature. The data will be stored into a local database using Microsoft Access software. GUI design is based on Visual Basics, that known now as a Visual Studio. Okay, for literature review, for the current attendance recruitment methods, the most commonly which is manual methods, punch card, RFID, biometric, and QR code technology. Okay, for manual methods. Manual methods is commonly used by lecturer to take attendance of student. Is to use paper. The lecturer will distribute the paper, the sheets, and the student will sign on the handouts. So lecturer should be examine one by one students who was not present for verification purpose. This method is a traditional way of using all human power completely that's required to fill in the attendance sheets manually. Okay, for the punch card methods, these methods involve several stages of works in recording the attendance of students within a month. First is collecting the attendance cards. Next is needs to spread the attendance card by class, and lastly need to enter the total attendance into the student file. The use of hardware in recording attendance with the punch card method is to use attendance cards and punch clock machines. So this method has its own drawback because this method does not use a comprehensive computing system in the management of attendance records. Okay, for next is for RFID card methods. Particularly in electronics, they gave way to the RFID attendance system, a far more secure and reliable system. The data can be neatly managed and documented by incorporating RFID system into student daily activity. This attendance management methods is useful and in education sorry in educational institutions where monitoring student regularly is critical, but it has some minor flaw and pitfall, which is first, the system is costly since it incorporates a significant amount of technology. Purchasing stack for all students is expensive if there's a large group of students. It is it is time consuming and costly to replace the microchip radio transceiver antenna and battery in the system. So the system is vulnerable to manipulates because it is not as secure as biometrics. Okay, next is for biometric methods. Biometric is defined as a sign numbering and measurement procedure involving life. In the context of identification system, biometric is a procedure for identifying a human being by clearly distinguish a person physical characteristic. For the example of biometric procedure is fingerprint procedure, handprinting procedure, voice recognition, and retinal recognition can be used to implement this system. Due to its relatively high cost and required careful care, it is less suitable to be used to implement this project. Okay, next is QR code technology. QR code, as we know as a quick response, there's a type of that is a type of barcode that store information as a series of pixel in square shape grid and can be read simply by a digital device. More recently, they've been crucial in tracing coronavirus exposure and slowing the virus transmission. The user utilize the use QR codes can easily use the software decode built-in to the apps to transform scans code image into coded information and save it to a database. Based on user information retrieved from the QR code, the system keep tracking of attendance. The code that will be used here will read the data and store it in the database so that it can be retrieved by the system. Okay, next is a review on the development tool. The review of development tool is a study that relates to the development tool in current attendance system. Most commonly used in a is a Visual Basics, which now known as a Visual Studio, and a Microsoft Access. Okay, next is a Visual Basics, which known now as a Visual Studio. Is a Microsoft develop and own programming language. You can use a VBA to construct macros to automate repetitive words and data processing tasks, as well as to construct custom form, graph, and reports. VB is a component of Microsoft Office. It is not a standalone product. In this project, we will build a GUI system that use Visual Basics. Okay, for Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is a software used as a database development that has been developed by Microsoft Corporations in the Microsoft Office package. This software is suitable for developing medium-sized database only, and this is suitable for project to develop large-size database. It requires software such as Oracle 9, MSQL Server, and so on. Microsoft Access is easy to learn and use because it is based on Windows software and also user friendly. Okay, for project methodology, which is AD, there's a analysis phase, designing phase, development, implementation, and evaluations. For analysis phase, this phase is to aim at identifying the problems being studied. There's a several problem. That's lecturer often lose attendance paper, and lecturer have to print the attendance list before going to class. In this phase, the process of collecting information is also done. Designing phase. In the design planning to be developed, there's several aspect that needs to be considered. This in this course of this phase is designed to produce a design that really efficiently while minimizing the problems that may occur. In this design phase, the software that need to use the software to be used at this phase is to draw an interface display that will be an intermediary between the user and the system. The block diagram shows the student as a input, the as a input and the data input is QR codes and temperature, and it will be sent to graphical user interface, and it will be processed and sent and saved into the database, and the lecturer can interact with the GUI. So for the development phase, the development phase is implemented with VB software, where the representations of the number on the user ID will be entered into Microsoft Access, and Microsoft Access will send informations to Visual Basics and then display the arrival of students. The merge of these two systems occur with coding that has been written to the module in VB. For the program form, there's a several form that we use, which is a login form, which is for display the for the user to log in. Menu is for display the menu of the programs. Register form is to allow lecturer to manage student registrations, either to add, delete, update, generate student QR code, and download QR code for students. QR code scanner form is for lecturer to scan, to allow lecturer to scan the QR code and key in the temperature and save to the database. Database form is for to display the database gained from the Microsoft Access. Okay, for implementation phase, this phase is that describe the implementations process of the attendance system. In this phase, programming is the main actor for the main actor of the system for the software. This system works by using coding written on the VB module. The system is designed to enable the data scanned on the QR scanner to be interpreted by a computer. Okay, this is a flowchart for smart attendance system user interface. Firstly, we will start with the login interface, and it will be show the menu interface. And then inside the menu interface, there will be several options, which is a register student interface, QR codes scanner, and the student database. So all the data that have been that will be insert in, and it will be saved in the database. Okay. Next is for evaluation phase. This is the final phase in the development of the smart attendance system, which is testing phase, that where the system that have been developed with will be tested together with the attendance scanner system built to ensure its effectiveness in solving this attendance problem. Documentation on data and relationship that have been previously made is referenced back for the purpose of testing the accuracy of the carried out by the researcher using the feedback or answer provided by the selected experts in the expert forms, as well as the questionnaire. The questionnaire is for expert on based on the suitability that has been determined and marked by three respondents. Okay, system design. Uh, VB software used to develop the interface and use Microsoft Access as the database. In this smart attendance system design process, the produce a suitable and user-friendly system design. Uh, this design includes in developing the interface design and developing the program software so that it works planned. There's two type of software are used to assist in the implementation of the project so that it become more efficient and structured as well able to adapt to the latest computing technology. Okay, for expert verifications. Okay, the analysis is done based on the feedback provided by three experts after verifications. Okay, the questionnaire for expert that has been determined and marked by one respondent in the field of mechanical engineering from ILP Pasir Gudang, and one respondent in the field of automotive engineering from ILP Kuala Lumpur, and lastly one respondent in the field of electrical engineering from Kota Baru Polytechnic. Okay, for expert analysis for design aspect of smart attendance system. Based on the calculation on the table, the average agreements calculated on the suitable of the system design that the design meets the required suitability is at a good level, and the overall percentage of agreement on the suitable of the system design is 83%. Okay, for the functionality analysis of the smart attendance system. Overall, based on the average agreement calculated in the table on the functionality testing parts of the smart attendance system is at a very good level, and overall percentage count on the functionality parts of this system is 100%. Next is for discussion. This system was developed to make it easier for instructor or lecturer to record student attendance more easily and systematically. The software used to develop this software is Visual Studio Enterprise 2022, the latest versions, and Microsoft Access. The item discussed includes the advantage of the system develops as well as the shortcoming of the system. The achievement of objective design development problem that occur during the constructions of the system. The attendance system was developed to record student attendance and temperature in more systematic, organized manner and avoid contact. From the result of this design, it is found that the design development objective outline has been achieved. So we are able to design an interface and develop a database that could record student attendance using VB software. This system can prevent students from touching each other when recording attendance. Okay, for the conclusion, from the observations made, it is found that there are some many constraints faced by the current attendance requirement system in terms of implementation efficiency, information management, and time and so on. Therefore, a new attendance recording tool and system should be developed to increase the applications of the use of technology by the new millenniums in lines with the country's desire to promote a world without border. Next is recommendation. This system can also be applied if there are forum or seminar that require student attendance to be taken. This is easier when compared to distributing attendance paper by class or program. Some improvement can be made for future works. Other than that, adding various other function of the developed system that is not limited to the use to retrieve and record arrival only. and can add more functions so that the database can be print print printed, and maybe add a warning letter function to student with an attendance percentage below 18%. Okay, for the summary, overall, all aspects discussed in this chapter are expected to be guidelines, and the guidelines for future researcher in continuing this study, as well as implementing modifications to the design of the development of the system. In conclusions, this smart attendance system GUI has successfully achieved the set objective. It is hoped that in the future that can be improve the design of this system and be able to solve problem faced by user. Okay, I will show some of example of the system. Okay, as as we can see, this is the software that I use for this project. This is a form 1, which is a login form. This is menu form, register form, scanner form, and uh, database form. So this is some example of coding that I have used for this project, which is there's a load button, save button, for update button, delete button, generate button, and download button, also back button. So we showed some example that we can start debugging this project. Okay, okay, this is the example. This is the alert that will appear when the connection between Visual Studio and the database is successfully. So okay, this is a login interface. So now I will insert the username and password. This is the password and username set by me for this login. So the login is successful, which means the password and username is correct. Okay, this is a menu form. There's a register for register students, buttons, QR code, scanner, database student, lockout, and there's time and dates. Okay, so this is for the register form. Okay, basically this is the for they need to fill the information, student informations that will be registered for the subject, for the subject. After they fill all the blanks spot, they need to save the data, and it will be stored in database. uh, this is some example the student that I've been registered before this. So for example, this is the student data that I have been saved. Okay, if we press the save button, so the new record has been inserted successfully, and we can check again. There's this one is the data that uh, that have been saved just now, and we can choose the generate code. So this is the QR code for the student, and they can save the what we call that, the QR code image, and it will be saved in the computer. They also have a delete buttons and update button. uh, for example, I have duplicate this name, this student name, so maybe I don't need this one, this student, there's two student, to duplicate name. So I want to delete, so I just press the delete, and so the record has been deleted successfully. when we load the record, there's no more that student name. Okay, next is for QR code scanner. Okay, this is the interface for scanner lah. Basically, it will appear the cam inside this box, but this time I use that for my recording, so there's no display cam here. Okay, it works when the QR codes. It works when the QR code is here is at inside the box, and okay, they need to press the start cam, and the information will be appear here. For example, it will appear AK 21007. So after the information appear here, need to click button search, and the data will be appear here, which is full name, metric number, and subject. So they need to insert the temperature. For example, this, okay, 36 and 4.4 for the student temperature, and press save. So the attendance has been recorded. Okay, for if we need to check, we can go to the database attendance database, so we can load the record. Okay, this is the example of the student attend the class. Okay, so the log date is 13. This is the log date and the time they entered the class, and this is their temperature. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.